Hello, today my presentation is going to be about climate change in the Tampa Bay area, which is in the state of Florida. It's getting warmer. The Tampa Bay's area's average temperature has increased by 3.4 degrees since the first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970. Within this PowerPoint, I will go into detail with you all about climate change and the impact it has on our community. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels, like coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat-trapping gases. The first thing I want to talk about in this presentation is forcing agents. Climate forcing is the physical processes of affecting the climate on the Earth through a number of forcing factors. It will be an imposed, natural, or anthropogenic perturbation of the Earth's energy balance with space. So the number one is carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide, also known as CO2, is considered a greenhouse gas. These greenhouse gases surround Earth, trapping in heat close to the Earth's surface, causing a warming that we call the greenhouse effect. While the Earth's atmosphere has just enough greenhouse gases to keep the surface at a comfortable temperature for plants, humans, and animals to flourish, too much can cause an overall warming of the planet. So here I included a chart, and it's the carbon dioxide emissions by sector in the world. So it kind of shows, where we use the most carbon dioxide, and it goes all the way, this chart goes all the way from 1990 to 2010. So you can see our energy, which is in blue, is a big one. And then the rest kind of are pretty close to size. The next second biggest would be our transport. So our cars, our fuel, things like that. Another forcing agent, is methane, which is another greenhouse gas that is also a forcing agent. Methane is the primary contributor to the formation of ground-level ozone, a hazardous air pollutant. Exposure to methane gases causes 1 million premature deaths every year. Methane has been accounted for causing 30% of global warming since pre-industrial times and is continuing to grow, which is causing that 30% to increase. And then we have, positive and negative feedback when it comes to climate. Climate change feedbacks are important in understanding of global warming because of the way feedback processes either amplify or diminish the effect of climate forcing. So positive feedback, it's kind of weird. We think that this would be good, and that's not the case, because in the case when talking about positive feedback with climate change, this is causing more of the initial change. So we don't want more of some of these factors that are causing our climate change. And then negative feedback is diminishing the change. So there's a change and we're going to have some negative feedback. So that's going to take that change and reduce the change instead of making the change happen more frequently or increasing it. So now I want to talk about Florida in the terms of the historical context of climate. My first example is the rising seas and retreating shores. Global mean sea level has risen about 8 to 9 inches, which is also 21 to 24 centimeters, since the 1880, with about a third of that coming in just the last 2.5 decades. Along the Atlantic and Gulf coast of Florida, the land surface is also sinking. If the oceans and the atmosphere continue to warm, sea level along the Florida coast is likely to rise 1 to 4 feet in the next century. Rising sea level submerges wetlands and dryland, erodes beaches, and exacerbates coastal flooding. Another example of the historical context of climate is hurricanes. We have always had a lot of storms here in Florida, but our hurricane seasons have gotten longer and more serious over the last 100 years. They do more damage now than ever before because of the warm waters and warming temperatures. The warmer it gets, the stronger the storms will be. Florida has also been hit by more than twice as many hurricanes as the next closest hurricane-prone state, which is Texas. Of the 292 hurricanes that have hit the U.S. since 1851, a staggering 120 have made some sort of landfall in Florida. And then I wanted to include this because this is a graph that shows the annual temperatures in Tarpon Springs, Florida, which is part of the Tampa Bay area. And this goes all the way back to 1880 and then to 2020. And you could see there that it's continuing to rise. I mean, the rise might be huge and it's a little up and down, but the line there shows that it's getting warmer. The regional and environmental influence. Climate change affects all areas in a variety of different ways. Here are some impacts that have affected us here in Tampa Bay. The first one is invasive species. Florida is particularly vulnerable to invasive species due to our mild climates and extensive tourism, as well as being a major hub for importing goods from other countries. The economic damages resulting from invasive species cost the United States an estimated $120 billion each year. The increase in temperatures, rainfall, humidity, and drought can facilitate their spread and establishment, creating new opportunities for them to become invasive. And then my other example would be fires. Climate change is heating up in Florida, which could cause more wildfires than Florida is already experiencing. While Florida is better known for its floods from rainstorms, hurricanes, and high tides, the state has a long history of wildfires. So I included this graph here. It says among properties with modern risks, the percent increases in average annual likelihood of wildfires over 30 years by county. So you can see, all the counties here in Florida, and if you look at the little box in the corner, it shows the percent of increase. Tampa Bay area is the area we're talking about today, which is among, if I can put my cursor over here, I hope you guys can see this, but along the left side here, and this is Pasco County, which is where I specifically live, but that is considered the Tampa Bay area, and you can see that the percent increase is 105 to 122%. The socioeconomic impact. So this one would be number one, agriculture. Changes in ozone, greenhouse gases, and climate change affect agricultural producers greatly because agriculture and fisheries depend on specific climate conditions. Temperature changes can cause habitat ranges and crop planting dates to shift, and droughts and floods due to climate change may hinder farming practices. And then my second is tourism. Indicators of climate change, such as high sea levels and more frequent and powerful hurricanes and other extreme weather events, have the potential to severely impact the tourism industry in Florida. Florida is one of the most visited states because of all the activities it offers indoors and outdoors. With global warming, Florida temperatures are becoming extreme, which has caused for the tourism number to decrease due to the fact that visitors cannot take the heat. Mitigation and geoengineering actions. So first I want to talk about mitigation. Climate change mitigation means avoiding and reducing emissions of heat-trapping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere to prevent the planet from warming to more extreme temperatures. Both climate change mitigation and climate change adaptation are important in curbing the effects of global warming. Mitigation efforts can reduce the rate of global atmospheric temperature rise and eventually even reverse it. So I wanted to talk about some of the ways that Tampa Bay is working with mitigation processes. So the first one is offering more energy efficiency services to homeowners. So some of the examples of these services are going solar, new windows, energy efficient AC units. So Florida Public Utilities offers electric rebates for home and businesses with rebates on a variety of residential and commercial energy efficient upgrades. You can upgrade to the latest high efficiency applications or appliances and equipment, conserve energy every month, and save. PACE PACE, or Property Assessed Clean Energy Program, is a government-sponsored program that is used in Florida to finance energy efficiency improvements, renewable energy improvements, and wind-resistant improvements. Money right from the start. The second one is staying ahead of the game when dealing with hurricane season. Our hurricane season, like I stated earlier in this presentation, is crazy in Florida. And Florida wants their citizens to prepare. That way, less damage they are exposed to from these big storms. Florida offers an annual tax holiday for hurricane supplies and other goods. Floridians can now save on supplies useful in a hurricane starting. May 28th marked the first day of the 2022 Disaster Preparedness Sales Tax Holiday, which was run for a full 2 weeks until June 10th. They are doing this to minimize the risk of injuries due to the storms and to help us save our homes and communities. You have to be prepared for storms like these, and this is a good way to get started. Geoengineering. Geoengineering, also known as climate engineering, describes a range of ways to intervene on a large scale in the Earth's natural systems, for example, the oceans, soils, and atmosphere, to directly combat climate change. So the first one is afforestation. We have had a ton of building in the Tampa Bay area, therefore have taken down many healthy trees and forests. There are laws and new laws coming that will state every tree you take down, you have to plant a new one to take its place. We know that afforestation is the establishment of a forest or strand of trees in an area where there is no previous tree cover, and Florida is trying to do just that and more. The second one is ocean fertilization. Living in Florida, we are surrounded by water, oceans being the big ones. Ocean fertilization or ocean nourishment is a type of climate engineering based on the purposeful introduction of plant nutrients to the upper ocean to increase marine food production and to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Ocean fertilization attempts to sequester atmospheric carbon dioxide to the ocean interior by adding a limiting nutrient to a selected region of the ocean. So I included this picture of Florida just to show, that we're surrounded by water, and you could see like some of the rivers, and down here is probably more of the Florida Everglades. The future outlook for Tampa Bay. Population growth in Tampa was 1.3% last year and is projected to grow 3.3% annually over the next few years. More than 126,000 new residents are forecast to move to the metropolitan area by 2024. If things stay the same, we will see more storms with higher storm surges, warmer weather, and sea level rises, more illnesses, and negative impacts. Climate change is occurring everywhere. It just affects every area a little differently. Tampa Bay area has been seeing some big changes and will continue to. Florida will continue to provide information on what we can do at home to help, as well as other programs to help families become more prepared for the future and help climate change regress instead of moving forward. And then in this slide, in the next slide, I included my sources where I got some of this information and some of the facts. Thank you for watching my presentation.